December 14th, 2012 is really a day that can connect us to the mission of Children's Center. I had just gotten done with a lunch meeting, and I was driving home in the car, and I was listening to the news on the radio when I heard about what had happened at Sandy Hook Elementary. I called my wife and I said, I'm going to pick up our daughter from daycare. She's 4. I went down there and got her out of class, and you know, this 4-year-old's looking at me saying, well, why are you here? Why are you here in the middle of the day? And I mean, you know, how do you explain that to a 4-year-old? Our goal is healthy children for a healthy community, and that's what attracted me to the board of the Children's Center.
You know, this is my home. I was born and raised in Vancouver, and I knew when I left to finish my education I would come back here to live and stay, and I would be growing old in this town. So the health of this community is important to me, and I realize very clearly how directly the health of our children today impacts the health of our communities in the future. That's why I joined the board.
So while I worked at the prosecuting attorney's office, I was assigned to prosecute cases of child sexual abuse. While I was there, I got to know the counselors that worked at the Children's Center pretty well. In fact, there was one case that really stuck with me and is the reason that I'm on the board of directors for the Children's Center. I was prosecuting a case that involved 2 sisters. They were in their teens when I had them and we were prosecuting the case. Their victimization had started when they were very young, and it was their stepfather who was the perpetrator. Those 2 girls were under a lot of pressure during the time that I was prosecuting their case. Their mother was not supportive. She was supportive of the perpetrator and didn't believe the daughters. The daughters had basically nobody to turn to. And as the prosecutor in the case, I would have loved to help them, and as a mother of 2 girls, I also wanted to help them very much, but the Children's Center provided counseling for those 2 sisters, and during their counseling, while my case was going on, they established a very good, deep, trusting relationship with the counselor that they worked with. It was the only thing that they had that was supportive and helped them get through that case. To know that the Children's Center was there and was providing that counseling and that support after I was done, to know that those kids were going to continue to be protected and have somebody support them, that made my job easier, because then I knew at least I'm done and I can move on to the next case. But these kids will still go on and become productive members of society and continue to heal.
My daughter has struggled with depression for many years, and I'm employed, we have health insurance, we have resources, I know people in the community, and it's still one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life is get wraparound care for her to do what we need to do to keep her healthy. And I think of all those kids who don't have the resources that my family has, and that's why I'm on the Children's Center board. The stigma associated with mental health issues remains in society. We've come a long way, but it still remains. But because it's a mental health issue, even somebody as connected as we are still suffer in silence because it's not something people like to talk about. And Children's Center is one of the organizations in this community that is working to remove the stigma so that we can give these kids the help they need.